welcome. Wow, I think my screen's a little dirty. I'm gonna clean you off just a minute. Oh, that didn't quite do it. Isn't it so funny? I'm just totally gonna do that. Oh, look at that. Isn't that much better? I'm just like that. I will totally just clean it right then and there rather than doing a new video, but that's okay. I'm kind of laughing because right when I thought to start this video, it was 4:11. When I pushed the button to enter the title, it was 4:12. It was like 6, 7. And this car drove by with, it was like a wagon with a family in it, and they're playing, what's this name of the song? I don't know if you can hear it. I think it's by Pearl Jam, which is significant to my DM. It's one of his favorite bands. I would give anything. Anyways, somehow that seems relevant, as does the song on my radio, which is Mary J. Blige, Sweetest Thing. Hey, Elizabeth! Back like a rash. That's alright, you're the good kind of rash. kind of like the friction burns or the rug burns after a nice long session with the person we want to have sessions with. Anyways, this is going to be a collective next 48 reading, mostly because I know that I need to be doing a reading, but I'm not really sure what about exactly. Um, I mean, I've been torn. Like, do I want to do a DM reading? Do I want to do collective reading? Do I want to do each signs? Do I want to do channeled message? Like, I feel like it's all kind of coming in. So I'm gonna go with something in the middle and just see what's coming up. And I'm laughing because I shuffled really good and I asked for an overall energy for the next 48 for everybody. And how funny is that to get the community card? And I'm really feeling called that, especially for those of you watching, that this is very likely going to mean time with your tribe, your collective, your friends, your the people that you really enjoy having time with. And it's funny because remember I said, like, when I pushed the button to go live, it was 4:12, which is 7, and that's the 7th card, and it's also related to the Chariot card, which is positive momentum. And just because I've not read it enough, right? Let's go ahead and see what the book says about it. Ooh, movement. I feel like there's going to be some opening throat chakras soon, too. I still am gaining more and more visions of messages coming in, and I realized that I didn't realize that I've been feeling this energy of, like, it's weird to say, like, unexpected things happening, but they're also expected in a way. Like, they may not come in the way that you thought that they would originally, or maybe not in the way that you wanted, but that you're opening up to all sorts of, new possibilities and things coming in. And so yeah, well, you know what? Then look for your tribe mates who are close to where you are, Elizabeth. Like, I have, like, a lot of my tribe mates are not directly next to me. In fact, I was just talking about, like, why are all my besties so far away? But they're close enough that I can go see them at least on occasion. And my oldest son and I were just talking about that because he was born with, tech all around. And I've had a big challenge in trying to get him to find his local tribe. He's got high functioning autism and ADHD, so there's a few more challenges in there. But he was just talking with our counselor today about the importance of having, like, real in-person relationships and not just digital relationships, which they are real, but they're real in a different way. So not just chatting, like, you can talk on the phone and you can go see them in person. Like, those are so important. And I feel like that, like, if you're if you don't have community, this is time to work on getting community. And yes, like, spend time with me. I like spending time with you. Clearly, I'm on here. I consider you part of the collective, part of the tribe, things like that. But also, if you don't have physical 3D connections for people you can connect with, that's not healthy. And it's likely keeping union away. And it's funny because one of these days I intend to write an article or maybe do a video about like I think it was seven, like seven friends every relationship needs to have. And it's like you need to have one friend that's a part, like they're a friend with both of you, that they connect with both of you, you're good with them, you can hang out with them whether or not that, and that's like a singular friend. And then you need like you need a friend who also has a partner, so you have a couple's friends. And then you each need a friend that is not connected to the other person, so that when you need to share like significant vulnerabilities that you're still processing and you don't want shared quite as raw as they are with your partner, that you have somebody removed from that so that you could do that. And you need your besties, and you also need people that aren't really besties but they're kind of in there. And the other funny thing is, I was thinking about doing a video about like one of the other reasons that it's important to have tribe and have friendships and to have passion projects that you do is because it brings you more information. Like if you start doing tarot readings for other people, you're going to get as much information about your situation as they are about theirs, even if it seems at first on the surface like they are unconnected. You know what? What you believe is true is true. So if you feel like you cannot absolutely connect with anybody, then don't. I'm not here to argue with anyone. I only know what I know and what my experience is and what spirit is saying. So if you're not going to connect and look for ways to do that in a healthy way, and you prefer the contrast of not having these magical experiences, then that's all good. But what I will say is that, like, when I really, like, when separation started, I realized that I had really not allowed friendships to happen because of the cycles that my masculine and I went through. And also because of me, because I was afraid of really showing myself and how much I thought about him, and like letting myself be vulnerable. And I mean, I had medical conditions that got in the way of a number of things too. I was embarrassed to talk about that stuff. And when I finally, like, when I told him to go and he left in a much bigger way than I thought, instead of chasing after him, I thought, you know what? I really have been wanting genuine friendships, and I've been allowing myself to hide in his trauma by sticking to the relationship stuff. So now I'm going to start looking for friends. And I really needed them to. I needed to talk. I needed to process. I needed to find others who were like me and yet different. And I did. And because I did that, and those, like, just one or two of them, it branched out enough to where, like, I have friends that I don't connect with all the time, but they're there as nice little side connections. And I have like two or three people that I connect with regularly. And then I'm able to allow in other friendships as I want. Like, and they all know me. They know I'm pretty introverted. I mean, I am an extrovert in a lot of ways. I'm an extroverted introvert. So I definitely like being able to do YouTube and stuff. It's funny. A lot of the extroverts I know, they would never do YouTube. But here I am doing that. And yet, like, I do love to connect with people, but I also like my alone time. I also like my me time. I like not to have a whole lot of chaos in my home life, a lot of drama in there. And I don't like the social pressures of, like, if you have somebody that's like near you and they want you to connect all the time. So I really started looking at and sharpening my focus on what kind of friends do I want, what kind of people do I want to connect with. And I didn't know for a while, so I just asked spirit for help in bringing in some contrast so I could see. And I got through, like, okay, I'm not so much with that friend, or I'm too much energy for this person even if I'd like to connect with them, until I found, like, my current bestie, who's like a lot like me but different enough that we really connect really well. And we don't live right next to each other. We both really don't like a whole ton of social chaos, and so it's great. We connect a lot on the phone and online, but we can also see each other in person. And that's helped me open up to having other connections that are closer. But the really great thing is that when you start to get into your tribe and you get into your community, you allow your intuitive self to open up, you start to see patterns. You start to meet other people who are either like if you've met your twin, then they have relationship dynamics that are very similar to ones that you went through or are going through. If you haven't met them yet, then it can give you contrast to what you would like and what you want to bring in with, your twin and things like that. And it can also, like, you start to get connected to the collectives in ways that it's like you can see patterns when they're happening. I was kind of laughing because I write a little blog to my masculine. I don't think he's gotten back to checking it yet. He used to, and spirit tells me he will again soon. But like I was writing about how like I look forward to the days when he's back in this dimension and we can chat about how all the ways that I knew what was going on without him telling me anything, because I know he's so funny. It's one of those you're not that important kind of things. Like yes, you are important. You are my masculine. You matter. What you say and don't say matters. What you do and don't do matters. And yes, I am the type that reads into both, and especially with him because we've had such a long connection and a strong bond and been so open and vulnerable with each other that I do know exactly what's going on with him, even if I didn't have all the other information coming in. But I didn't trust that so well at first. Like having my community and my tribe really helped me learn to trust myself a lot more. And it's so funny because, and I'm laughing that you do that too, Elizabeth. Hello, Glenn. Morning, Queens. Good morning, King. Right. But the funny thing is like I was thinking about that, and been very much in that energy. It's so interesting to go from all this time of being in a fearful, like, what if it doesn't work out? What if this doesn't happen? And the energy I've been in lately, even with no contact with him, is like all these visions coming into me, all these downloads of all these wonderful, fun ways that we're about to connect. And like, it doesn't even matter to me if they're like far forward in the future or not, because I have community, because I have healthy friendships, and they have helped me do a lot of my healing. And so I'm sitting here. This is funny. This is what's on the bottom of the deck right now, the thinking woman. So I'm sitting here thinking woman, and I'm imagining like when my masculine comes back into this dimension, and he's ready, and he's like, how did you know everything? Because he's already confirmed for me that even that everything that I predicted has come true, has come through. It has happened, maybe not in the exact way that I thought of it at first or that he thought that I was talking about, but it's all happened. And I know that he's dying inside. Like it's what is it? That song, I'm dying inside, and nobody knows it but me, right? I know that he's wondering how I know, especially when he got super closed up. Like when the situation with his karmic got super chaotic and dangerous and stuff, like that's when he really, really tried to close up, because I could, it's like I could feel him thinking it. Like, she can read everything I do, even by what I don't do. Right, which is super cool and scary at the same time. And so like I know that he's been sitting there thinking about, how can she possibly know what's going on? There's no way that she's in my house. There's no way that she's that psychic. There's no way that, like, I know she doesn't have cameras in here, and I got a new phone. There's no way she has any information on my phone. Like, there's no way that my divine feminine could really know that much about what's going on with me and the cycles with the karmic, but she does, and like, I know that, especially with him being a Cancer, it freaks him out, and yet it's totally cool and magical and amazing, and he loves it because he's a funny fish like that. Or I should say, a funny crab like that. In any case, that's the fun thing, is like a lot of the way that I know is because of community, because I trust my intuition, because I'm open to information coming in from all places, and the more I open up to friends and people to help, and people, and letting people in to help me, and doing more tarot readings, doing more live stuff, doing more private readings, doing coaching, things like that. It's so funny because just opening up to do it just because I enjoy doing it, and opening up to community stuff like that, I don't have an agenda to do it to get the information, and I don't have an agenda to do it for the money. I'm literally just doing it because I'm already a nerd about it and I like doing it, and every opportunity I get to read for somebody is just another chance for me to see the cards in a new way and see what's going on. But because I specifically got into the friends thing when I started, that spirit showed me that, like, and at first it was like, no, that I mean, that information feels right, and it feels like something that's going on with me and my twin, but it can't be. No, that's just got to be coincidental. But the more that I got into it, was like, oh, wow, that wasn't a coincidence. That shit that I did, that I read for them, and that little perception that I had in there, that totally happened. Or that thing that happened with my bestie and her person, that totally happened. And look at the patterns and the waves and stuff. And then when you get to the place where there is no contact or communication, you still have that 5D stuff. You still have spirit showing you things if you want to see it. You still have that community. You still have access to the cycles and the collective and all the other things going on, so that you're not constantly hooked on having to have 3D confirmation from your twin. And then you learn to trust yourself more, and the more you learn to trust yourself, the less you actually even feel obsessed about what's going on in the cycle, or even are they my twin or not, or what am I going to do with my time and my space, because you have community, you have passion projects, you have things that make you feel good. And the more things that make you feel good, the better the health problems get, the better your mental health gets, the better the rest of your life gets. And then it doesn't feel like you're in such pressure to do something different with your life, and you have people that you can talk to about things that you feel shameful about, that you haven't been able to talk about. You get to confess and release yourself from all these old bonds. You have musketeers there with you who can, or what is the one that they did? It was the Three Amigos, the cartoon one with Donald Duck and everything like that. Like, you have your Three Amigos kind of thing, and you can work out stuff with them that you never really are going to be able to work out with any sort of romantic relationship, whether twin or not. And that you need that space worked out for. You need to have that. You need to have roots that are not just specific to a romantic relationship. No romantic relationship can survive unless both people have healthy exterior roots with friends too, like your chosen family, your community. Now that I have rambled on about all of that, I wanted to note the deck as it sits before I shuffle it. So, like I said, we have the Thinking Woman card. So for the next 48 hours, it feels like, it's funny because 47, so 4 and 7 is 11. It's justice, it's karma. And I'm seeing a butterfly in here and a book. And there's a lot of green in here, which reminds me both of the heart chakra and also of earth signs. So either, I have a sense we're all going to be kind of feeling sort of earthy, but it's also a very Piscean card. And we are in Mercury in Pisces. So it very much makes sense that we're kind of in that mermaidy space about things, like that magicalness. Like these actually, what's funny, I feel like what's missing from this is a satyr. Like these three look kind of like the woodland nymphs that are like playing their songs, and the satyrs like chasing them around, and they're like having fun and doing all that stuff. And I'm really feeling called to the apples in that too, which has kind of been a theme for my youngest son, actually. But this, it's funny. I know it's just an intuition. So a song came on to me last night, and it feels like, it's funny to say a song came on to me, like a person came on. You came on to me, but a song came to me, and it was and I just saw a truck that said home. How funny is that? Home. Like there's somebody's thinking about home. Maybe there's somebody, if you are a feminine, whether regardless of gender, you're feminine, and you've been thinking a lot and taking kind of like you've been withdrawn because you're thinking, you're writing, you're doing things. There's likely somebody thinking about you, like somebody thinking about a thinking woman. And also, it could be that you are in this thinking space because you're waiting on somebody else to like do something. Anyways, the song though was Kiss the Girl from Little Mermaid. And it was actually The reason this card reminds me of it is because there's a line in it that talks about um, well, I can't remember the way it actually goes, but so it's because she, Ursula took her voice, and like in order for her to be able to speak, Eric needed to kiss her, and with love, with genuine love, and it kind of has felt like that, like that's the thing, is like if you've been in a quiet space of no contact and so, oh, I love that movie. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the recent cancellations of things, but I love that movie. I don't love a lot of the background and stuff that comes with it and things like that, but that's definitely, and I'm more of a soundtrack person more than a movie person myself. But I like some of the story stuff. In any case, the like what it actually made me think about, especially with twin flame type stuff, is that if you've been the one to withdraw, to think, to take space and stuff like that, it feels like the masculine, the has been. It's like they need to do something magical. They need to make an actual gesture, like they need to kiss you, or they need to give you, or maybe even kiss as in keep it simple, stupid. That there's some sort of involvement with a kiss that will open up this thinking woman sort of thing, and it could even be, yeah, you're right, yeah, Mary Poppins, yeah. It may even, it's funny, like a spoonful of sugar, right? They need to have a spoonful of sugar in their approach. We'll have to see what the rest of the cards say when I pull them out. But I mean, it could be even that maybe you're waiting on that, but you're definitely in like that Pisces. Like I think all of us, regardless of gender or twin flame stuff or not, are kind of in that thinking space. That, and on top, Woman Holding a Heart in reverse, card number 44, which is 8. And so that's like hot topic stuff. Although I have a feeling for those of you watching this reading, it's not necessarily that is the topic on your mind or out of your mouth, like, but it feels like others. In fact, this it feels like a part of the community, but this part of the community is talking. In fact, not even just this part, like both parts. Like there's some there's some positive stuff going on about people talking about you in like a, wow, look at all that stuff that she's been through. That's really freaking inspiring that she's been through all of that and is glowing up and she's a part of our community now, and like how fucking awesome is that? But there's also some people that are talking about you in just in like a not a great way, and I have a feeling that it's being led by Woman Holding a Heart in reverse. And interesting, sorry, I got a weird notification. Anyways, there's some sort of hot topic. I feel like it's a combination between a woman who's very scorned and isn't liking the glow up of another woman, and it's also a woman who has been through some hard emotional times, but now she's just kind of in this thinking space, and she might be writing or blogging or vlogging or doing things like that, but she's not in a like a uber, she's in a feminine place, she's in a receptive place. It's funny, the song on the radio now is Something Keeps Calling Me Back. Right? What's the Something Keeps Calling? But and that's, remember, I don't know if either of you were in here, or any of you were in here when I started the thing, but started the video, but I was talking about how I feel like there's incoming messages and calls and visits and like unexpected things that are likely to happen. And here's what's funny, Heart of the Matter right now, card number 24, which equals 6, which is the Lovers, and it's adjacent possibilities. So, like, the more open you are to any sort of outcome or anything like that, the more likely you're going to be pleasantly surprised at the outcomes that happen. Especially if you allow your rules about how things have to go to be different. Like, I've kind of laughed at myself more recently with the physical stuff because I've been like, I mean, not everything is all completely better, but I do have more energy and things are going better. And a lot of the stuff that they were telling me in the beginning, even with the MRIs and things like that, were not good. And actually, I'm quite a bit more healed than I thought that I would be. And that, I mean, like, that I had hard evidence of what was going on, and now it's better. And I know a lot of that is because of my own intention for this not to be something that really held me back, as well as a lot of wonderful, thoughtful, and powerful prayer work by some people that really love me and care about me. And it's also funny because it's not the first time that I've healed from something that most people don't. I've healed myself of cervical cancer also. And I looked it up. I actually have some Scorpio placements that specifically predict that I will likely go through really difficult physical health and spiritual health things and actually recover fully from it in a very magical way that most people would not expect. And so I've already been through some of that experience, and I know it's possible. But it's funny because you fight the ego on that. Is like, what do you tell people about what happened? Most people aren't going to believe in a magical experience like that happening. They want some sort of a scientific, this is how it happened and this is how I did it. Or they just go, oh, it really wasn't that bad then. It couldn't have been that bad. Like, no, like, like you have to get to a space to where you can relax your rules to where it's like, for me, I'm just not going to worry about those who think that I may have been faking or that it wasn't as bad or anything like that. I'm going to gravitate towards those that do believe me and are in love with that sort of magical mystical experience, and trust that the way manifestation works is when I'm in that vibration of people who love that sort of thing and have had experiences like that, then the naysayers, the negative community people, they're gonna spirits. We're not gonna rendezvous. That's how manifestation works. You rendezvous with people who match your vibration. So if you're in a victim space about, oh, people are gonna think bad things about me or they're gonna do this, then guess who you're gonna rendezvous with? You're gonna rendezvous with people who do think that and who worry about that with themselves. And so you both synergize on that energy. Where if you're in a place of like, you know what, no, I want my awesome, what is it? My awesome entourage. I want the people who love embracing absurdities like that and are totally cool about it and yet also not over the top about it. People who like to just dance wherever they're walking or sing wherever they are or just crack jokes because and yet also not overdo it. Like, I want to rendezvous with those people, and I do, and I am, because I get into that space. And so, but I had to relax my rules about myself and my mindset and what was going on and what was possible, and be open to infinite possibilities, including being able to heal again like that, being able to face things like that, and like being able to pivot at things happening so fast all in a row. But the only way you get to those places and those healing things is when you allow yourself to pivot, when you allow your rules to relax. Like Tony Robbins talks about that all the time. The stories that we tell ourselves is what we keep ourselves trapped in. So if you tell a story of like, I'm always restricted by these physical problems, guess what's true? Because what you believe is true, and what you tell yourself is true. Words matter, thoughts matter. They are spell work. They are literal spell work. That's how we manifest. So if you start changing your story, even if it feels funny at first, to, you know what, I'm amazingly healthy and I've survived way worse than getting sick or getting through this. And like, I know that spirit protects me and I'm meant to do so much more, and I'm just going to try it, because the worst thing that happens, I go through what I've already been through and I make it through it even easier because I've already been through it. Then when you start to do that, your story starts to change. Your whole story starts to rewrite until you get to this really profound, powerful place where you're like, wow, I totally changed the entire reality around me, and then you get to have new fun experiences that you were holding yourself back from before, because you were waiting for like a concrete 3D thing to like drop in your lap and just happen and free you, whereas it was that you first had to free yourself in your mind and your heart, and then the stuff starts dropping in your lap. And I feel like that's going to be a theme stuff being talked about over the next 48 hours. Okay, we got two cards. It's funny, those came out pretty quick, and I feel like that was like a slow motion shuffle. I haven't done that in ages. This is really, that's kind of a dichotomy of cards. We have the Sun card, number one, and we have the Action card in reverse, 17. It's like new adventures and openness, and yet no action. Or like waiting on action. And right underneath that, again, this guy's becoming a theme in the readings right now with the Pisces stuff. The throat chakra, Archangel Gabriel, 36, which is 9. 17 is also related to the star card. And 8, which is strength, which has also been a pattern coming up. Yes, very true, Glenn. Um, in any case, I'm kind of feeling like that what this means is a new beginning from a situation where no action had been taken, and also a bit of fun and thing, like little fun and frivolity. This is a very Piscean card too. If you look at it, it's very Piscean, very mermaid. What was I talking about? Sha la 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 la, you're mine. Go on and kiss the girl, la la. Right? That's kind of what that reminds me of. If there's a crab in it, it'd be perfect. There is a fish though. Um, and another book in there. It feels like kind of like fairy tale stuff, like reading, music, nature, like letting our inner child out to play. You know what it almost feels like is this no action card is almost like you're gonna feel like there's we call this jello. It's funny, me and my tribe mates call this jello. And jello is when you feel like there is something that you must be doing right now, that you need to be doing right now, but there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. Like, not that is like, I mean, you could mow the lawn, sure. You could go for a drive, sure. But it feels like there's something greater that you're supposed to be doing. Like you're supposed to manage something or say something or go somewhere or change something, and there isn't anything to do. And really, what we've kind of come to realize that is sort of a phase shift. You're like jumping timelines, and other people's, like your DNA is changing, other people's DNA is changing. You're like lining up with things, and so you kind of have this feeling like you are suspended in a mold of jello, to where like you got some movement kind of, but it like shakes and it shimmies and it feels weird, but it's safe too. Like you could shake that thing all you want. It's just, I mean, it's gonna jiggle, it's gonna shake, but that's part of actually what makes it so strong. At 4:44 on the clock is that because it has the flexibility, it can move. So if you can be flexible when you're having those feelings, that's what it feels like. And there's that jello stuff, is that if you can be flexible and go, okay, I can find things to do, but it doesn't have to necessarily be what I feel like I need to do. Like maybe it isn't that I need to call someone, maybe I need to start digging in the garden. Maybe it isn't that I need to go for a hike, maybe I just want to read a book, or maybe I need to read. It's not even a need. Like, take it out of the realms of need. What if you feel like you need to do something? Instead, stop, pivot, and pick something you want to do instead, and just see what happens. It feels like there's some healing going on with throat chakra stuff, but I'm not sure whether it's going to, that means like communication is going to happen. We'll have to see what other cards come out. Actually, you know what? I'm feeling like I want to shuffle this more. There's more cards that need to come out. I think throat chakra stuff is there, but it's not necessarily the like crux of the, I would say the act. It's not the axis on which our energies are pivoting. It's just kind of in there, like, please hold while throat chakras are healing, right? What did we get? Oh, that's funny, because didn't I say that action card, 17 equals 8, which is strength? Well, this is card number 50, but guess what? It looks like the strength card, and it is the angel of strength. And it's funny, because I'm noticing there's specifically some purple, and it's only in specific places. It's over the brow of the lion, so like third eye, intuitive stuff. It's also kind of down on one of its cheeks, so kind of throat chakra-esque. And then back on its back, which I would kind of, well, it's still kind of in its neck area. Lion has a long neck, so that's definitely healing energies of the throat chakra. And then it's funny, the angel, she has some, but it's on her right wing, right shoulder area. So it's almost like it's like partially. So, I mean, it's like she has one half and the lion has the other half. So, some sort of communication needs to occur between a feminine and a masculine type. And this is very much, for me, like a Beauty and the Beast kind of card, but it's where we find the beauty and the beast in each of us as individuals and in others. It's funny, the song on the radio now, India Arie, Steady Love. I love her as an artist, and it's a really, really great song. Um, Now, this feels more right. What do we have on the bottom here? We have woman holding a coin in reverse. Uh, Hang on just a second. Woman holding a coin in reverse. So there could be an earth sign happening, or it could be because this is it may either mean like you might not have a whole lot of like financial stuff you're working on, or if money is good, this is about somebody that you need to communicate with, and they are. This is War of Roses stuff. Actually, is what it feels like. Is that they are releasing somebody who has been a negative influence on their quaint, and probably somebody who may have a cat or brought a cat into an issue. Patience in reverse is under there. And oh, look, didn't we just have the thinking woman? There's the thinking man. And I think we had that also in a different reading, but I can't remember what it is. And this is nice. Look at this hot topic card. It's indecision, but it's in reverse. Guess what it means when indecision is in reverse? It means decisions have been made, and that's really freaking awesome. I'm happy to see that, especially with that throat chakra card in reverse, because I was kind of thinking that that might have meant no communication, which it still could to a degree, but I was like, I feel like there's other cards in here that have more to say. It feels like that stuff is being healed. And here's the heart of the matter card number 12, Temple Path. It feels like it's because I think everybody involved is taking a much more spiritual path. Um, Maybe even woman with the coin. Like maybe we're all kind of seeing that and like going, you know what? It's time for something completely different, as Monty Python would say. Now, I'm gonna have to get off here real quick in a minute, but I want to pull a couple of Rider Thwaite cards, and I will come back on shortly to do some other readings. I might do each sign. I might do a DM reading, a DF reading. I don't know. I'm going with the flow. That's a good card to see. Six of Cups. Kind of very Scorpio card, and it's usually about reunion. And it's, if you look at it, somebody wants to make a gesture of the heart, an emotional gesture, and it might be a small one, or it might be just a playful one. But yeah, look at what's on the bottom right now. Queen of Cups and Two of Cups, and then right underneath that, the Hangman in reverse, which is like a change of perspective. I'm kind of getting kind of like union-y vibes off of that, but let's see. Can we get a couple more cards, Spirit? Wow, all right. Pop right out there. Page of Pentacles in reverse. And we've got 10 of Swords on the bottom, but the star is up right beneath that. Let's see. Not so many, please, Spirit. Oh, all right, all right. I'll take those two. And, oh, come on. And this one. Wow. So we got Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles reverse, and Temperance. And on the bottom, Seven of Swords in reverse, which is, yeah, and Two of Swords in reverse on the top, and Tower reverse on the in the heart of the matter. So I'm getting a strong sense that somebody who has been trying to have a strategy of like giving the silent treatment or something like that, and really realizing that it's really burning them a lot more than it's burning the person that they've been silent with, and that they really realize that they've hurt other people through their inaction. Like this seems like somebody who's really like they kind of did like a bunny rabbit or deer sort of thing, like if I just hold still and I don't do or say anything, I'll be safe. But what actually ended up happening was, instead of being like slowly being able to progress forward and do good things, they turned into this, which is like perfectionism, procrastination, things like that. It makes sense with that. Uh, what do you call it? The Hangman in reverse thing too, which can sometimes indicate procrastination. And Yeah, I'm seeing King of Cups reverse, Eight of Swords, Six of Wands, Ten of Wands. Yeah, somebody has been carrying a lot of burdens that have really, really been slowing them down. They really wanted to be much more like King of Wands or Knight of Wands. It's funny that I said King of Wands. I guess they did. They did. They really wanted to be more King of Wands and ended up being more Knight of Pentacles. Because look at this. This is the woman with a coin in reverse. It's the same thing. There's been somebody who's been a financial burden on this person who they may be an adorable slowpoke, but they otherwise could have made a whole lot of movement and they've not been able to. So they've been praying, they've been doing their, music therapy of some kind, whether it's listening to it or playing with it or writing or things like that. They've been they're trying to be patient and do it right, and they're it seems like they're ready to speak up soon. They're still feeling nervous about it. They're not sure whether you will accept a small gesture at this time, and they're not sure if the gesture is the right gesture. But I think what this is telling us is that the angel of strength is with them. They're bringing them courage and bringing you courage too. I really feel like part of I think what it's really saying next 48 hours, especially if you do get some communication from someone, is really watch the vibes in your tribes. That's funny. That was a nice rhyme. Watch the vibes in your tribes and focus on having fun. Like, even if this person comes in and says everything you've been waiting for them to hear, whether it's about a job or a family situation or a twin flame situation, whatever it is, just let that, like, just marinate in it. You know what I mean? Don't answer it right away. Don't, like, don't be scared of it. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't take care of this right now or jump in right now, that it's going to disappear. No. In fact, don't even worry about whether it's coming or not. Like, just go have fun. Find fun. If you don't have fun, make some fun. If whatever it is, you got to wear a freaking spacesuit in order to avoid getting sick, still go do it. Like, make yourself a spacesuit that would totally be, everybody'd want to take pictures and you feel hidden enough that you don't care, and you go out to a bar and karaoke or go out to a public park and throw a ball around at yourself. Whatever it is, like, embrace some absurdity, have some fun, dance, sing, play in the sprinkler. If you have kids, play with them. Indulge your inner child and build your community. Enjoy your community and watch the vibes in the tribes. And then if, said message comes in, freaking fantastic, right? Rainbows over the moon. If it doesn't, you had a great freaking time anyways. And if it does, just know that that's because you're doing that. It's because you're focusing on community, because you're having fun, because you're loving yourself. So keep doing more of that. That's what brings in exactly what it is that you've wanted. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.